We can do Or you were saying...
technology and spirituality, and the bridge between them, and what we may or may not thought of what technology is. I don't know if I just said that right.
I think we're so dependent on technology being a digital means, but that's because right now everything's digital. Back in the days, we went from like everything was wooden to metal, but before wooden, it was nature. Birds were our early ways of communication is birds. So that's nature. Just like how water is technology, we use it to feed plants, to drink water. Rocks, rocks are used to when there's a flood, sand, right? So putting sand in bags and creating barriers for water, that's technology, but that's using Mother Nature. So now, people are learning about recycling compost. That's nature. Nature is like, give me all your trash and I'll recreate food for your plants. So now you can eat plants again. Like, nature's like, why aren't you using my trash can? I have pay it for you. Why are we so, hung up on like...
Right, but a shovel is technology.
Shovels is technology.
And
clothing is technology. It allows us to keep ourselves warm.
Right, yeah. And the difference between those, at least elements when it comes into, China, they have metal as their fifth element, right? Mm-hmm. That type of thing, and that part of it is all part of the earth and the planet and the sky and the sun and the wind and the water and all these other things. So...
And I've heard different groups use also lightning, electricity as an element. There's a really cool game you should check out called Doodle God.
Okay.
It's a really awesome game. What it is it starts off with 4 elements. And then from those 4 elements you create stuff. So water and fire, steam. And from steam and water creates, this and that. And they create basically, you start to see that you're creating things from these original 4 elements. That's really cool. Because all you're doing is trial and error until you're like, oh, that's right, water and fire create steam. Or, and steam, when you talk about technology, creates engines. So it's like we've been using Earth's energy for so long, but suddenly because of oil, we decided to forget everything else. But now it's just coming back to say, well, spirituality, what is spirituality? It's for us to become tuned in to all of life. You've seen Avatar, the blue Avatar?
Yeah.
And you know how they plug into everything?
Yeah.
That was awesome, right?
Yeah.
But you know what's so awesome about us?
What?
We have wireless. Isn't that amazing? We're wireless. And we have multiple wireless antennas. So we can connect to multiple things at once. Is right?
That's great. Although we do have wires too. The Earth now carries the wires.
Well, we can also be conducted to...
Yeah, the Earth carries the web now. But this is recent. Like, this is now of where we are now in this part of tech. The web is really covering the planet. Gigantic 1-foot thick cables. Basically, fiber optically, the speed of light, information is traveling electronically. But isn't that like around the planet constantly? That wasn't there before. Yeah. So aren't we, in essence, creating new meridian lines of energy at a surface level that haven't been on this planet before? We've now put a web around the Earth, literally. So how is that going to affect the future? And where does that come into play as we evolve and vibrate? Because it changes the vibration, doesn't it? I would think we're introducing it's a whole new type of energy field that's just been kind of webbed around the Earth right now. So
I think what's going to happen is as we change from different technology, we use clean source energy. What's going to happen is we're going to work with different centers, or we're going to reduce the amount of electricity we use, just because we actually have a better internet. our telepathy allows us to see everything. Like, which is really what's interesting is digitally we will help each other connect spiritually, but we need that digital jump. And I think people need that because that's what they're used to right now.
Yeah.
But, like the idea of like Google Glasses and being able to access your Facebook when you see somebody's face, I'm like, well, I can do that already. Really? Like, I don't need to know you or be your friend to see, wait, hold on, I know you, there's a connection with you. Because we are multi-dimension beings. We connect psychically by setting intentions. Intention is Google search. So, when I used to say, hey, I want to send, I'm like, okay, Charlie, can you be more specific? I'm like, oh, got it, let me rewrite this question. And so every day in my own affirmations and intention, I ask very specific questions like, alright guys, I'm trying to ground myself. I'd like some guidance today. Like how should I ground my chakras? Bam, bam, bam. I'm now getting more answers every day because I'm more specific. But before, it's too big. Like you're getting too many messages and you don't know how to weave the messages together.
Yeah. And have you ever heard of communicology at all?
That sounds like community and the ecology of community.
Yeah, it's coming out of Tel Aviv right now, which is like the second largest tech center in the world besides Silicon Valley. Tel Aviv is like next. Yeah, they're geniuses over there.
Tel Aviv over in Iran?
Yeah, Tel Aviv, yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing.
And so Tel Aviv is, their tech people are amazing. And they watch my tech show. So I get some comments from Tel Aviv. And so they know of my show, and there's the people over there are way relate to communicology, they're calling it, which is the science of practicing social media. So within that science now it's almost, there's a whole culture of lifestyle and living that can come with building community online, which is an amazing thing now. So that type of thing to work with is why when you said Google had the intention, Twitter had the birds, the flocks of birds. It's our reflection back of a communication system. But simplified, and how do birds communicate? Chirps and tweets and this and that and the other thing. So it's cute, it gives it a nice fun thing without it being so overwhelming. But I realize in all forms of whatever I've done or participated in doing with my skills and what I've been has been all over the place, and it's looked different because it's been architecture, it's been a TV station, I've done all of these things, but they all are different forms of building community and being part of community. And now I'm learning, here's technology in building community. And that's what I think for being a communicologist, I've never had it labeled like that. And to have it come from the other side of the world, I'm just kind of like, wow, I think I'm ready to kind of share this with the world now. It's kind of a cool kind of space to be with certain things, because I never asked anybody for a penny for that Silicon Beach show ever. I did 50 episodes of video HD and editing and all of this, and I never asked anyone for a penny. It was just like my gift to the community, and to get out there and to understand tech and meet unbelievable tech minds, and do different things. So for me though, Silicon Beach, it's now here and maybe digitized in another way. But the thing is I think that show put me on an amazing journey of building community. Because these 50 people now are all in my life, and they've been great. And I have really sought after mailing list.
Nice.
Because if you think about the people that I have on my shows, Howard Leonard is he runs biosciences. He owns BioHeart. he is a stem cell scientist and owns the patent for stem cells, and has them for all your different. BioHeart took a stem cell and grows your heart valve back on its own after 2 years with stem cells. And so they're using it for heart valves right now. So BioHeart went public, and it's huge. And Howard has been on 4 of my shows. I've done 4 shows with him. He's been great. He did a testimonial on my Political Power Blast video. The video game the proposal that we had for a video game. So he was on that. But I also have a lot of like major players that have been crucial to the growth of the tech scene here, you know, which has been great. So it started, the first episode started with, have you been to Google here yet? No. Inside. In the middle is the Google Earth console that you step into. And you fly into outer space. It's all around you. It's like land, and you can pick any address anywhere in the world, and it lands you
awesome.
Like this, right? And so it's the middle of that building. So it's like the biggest digital media center I've ever seen. And of course, you know, they end up buying YouTube, you know, so there's, it had never been videotaped, and I got permission to videotape it, and I did it with kids playing inside at Coder Dojo.
Yeah.
And that's when I was their director for media and production. But that kind of was the beginning of me finding the whole tech scene here. Because it's cool. It's kind of almost like a subconscious community. It's not like I can go to the mall and, you know, do this. Like the tech companies, there's some really good ones. But it was the people. Every person that I met was just absolutely like amazing and done great things. Like Walter Greaves launched the Real Office Centers. That was the old Google building that got renovated after Google moved to their new place. So it's the old Google offices in Santa Monica.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it turned into a gigantic incubator accelerator of thousands, like 20,000 square feet. I think, I don't know how many offices they have now, but it's like thousands in one building. It's a lot. But Walter's a great guy. Like there's just been so many people and some wonderful women too that have done some just amazing things. But they're putting this code out in the world, and they all have companies, and they're doing stuff. And you know, Alex Caposalantro from At the Pool, and a lot of them are mid-20s. Wow. A lot of them are mid-20s.
That's awesome.
You know,
there's a lot of young kids that are really smart. Right?
Yeah. Jason Zhu, it'd be so great to put you and Jason Zhu on a panel to talk at a tech event or something, you know. But I think at some point I want to like bring that show back, but I want it to be bigger because it has a lot of power with it. You know, it's these people, they bring a lot of power with them. So I kind of look at the community that I built with it, and I think that's a real powerful tool to be able to utilize a camera to build your community.
Yeah.
And so, like with any project, digital media is like so awesomely important, you know? Yeah. And that part
everyone
of
is
it,
sharing, and everyone can share, and that's what's really amazing.
Yeah. And I think that type of, for me, that entertainment, you know, because
you want to hear knowledge, but not like, hey guys, this is the mountain, this is it. You know,
right.
Like, you want to be entertained. You're like, check this out, guys, crazy fucking mounds. Oh my god, you want to be entertained, you know. And that's what I'm realizing is like spirituality is great, but sometimes like the way we come off of it is a little relax, guys. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bridge spirituality with reality. I'm changing the word romantics and reality and creating romantic reality, which is let our reality be more romantic, but let's not become, as I would say, a superhero, crazy like fantasy world, right? Because I can get fantasy where we're like, we're the dragons and let's pull out like our crazy swords, you know. or even going like beyond and like say aliens and going to space. Like sometimes people aren't ready for that, so it's how do we bridge that, you know? With holistic centers, it started with medicine, but for me, it's like I want to romanticize reality by giving your reality a bit more of a let's get a boost up. You know, the reason games do so well is because people want positive feedback. That's why they play games. You know, but then they come to this world and it sucks. It's like, no, it's beautiful. We just don't know how to look at it, how to enjoy it. You know, I was so stuck in like playing video games and all that. Forget that this world is beautiful if you let it be beautiful instead of being attacked by it. You know, so it's like that therapy of mental health, you know.
Right. Well, that's political power blast. That was a bridge of being able to understand and being involved in your community. But who wants to go listen to 18 people and all their issues? It's tedious if you're not into. I don't want to study every, you know, that type of thing. It's a lot to kind of figure out. So by creating this game, it was to educate along the way all the steps of the issues by doing it in fun play.
Right. Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah.
You know, I think, but that type of where it gets to, oh, don't do video games because they're bad and you're denying the earth. It's still the earth. It's still here. You know, it's still the earth. I think that so. You know, plug in, don't plug in, but whatever you're doing, as long as you're growing and enjoying it.
Right, and the way I see the digital world, actually, the digital world comes in being able for us to make an analogy to connect to the physical world. Right, it's bridging. They're bridging each other so that eventually it becomes, you know, full circle.
Yeah.
Because ETs have technology. Like, they're not living with planets all over the place. They still have ships. You know, like we still want a technology to grow, but not. You know, I feel like sometimes the technology takes over people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. You know, because it becomes an addiction now, versus something that's healthy for them. So it's finding that right balance. Yeah, and I think, you know, there's a way to like help popularize the idea that, you know, psychic abilities. I like the idea of the temple of you. You know, it's your temple, meaning pray to it and bless it and make it good for yourself. You know, because it's your temple. You know, a lot of people don't realize. Like, we look at each other and we're like, "You have a beautiful temple, Charlie." Like, do that. Be the one who prays to your temple, because in the end of the day, you know, it's for you. So I just want to help bring people who, you know, because my cousin is very spiritual. He's one of the most spiritual person I know. You know, he grew up with his mother. His mother's very happy. Like, they're very happy people who love people in life, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, the Asian culture stressed them in a certain way that, you know, he's still dealing with issues, you know? But he thinks that all the spiritual stuff is, like, kind of freaky, because we kind of think, which I still think sometimes, it gets a little fanatic. You're like, relax. Not ready to see dead people yet. You know? But some people who are, like I was, I'm like, I'm ready. And now it's like, okay, I get why people are freaked out. Let's kind of make it cool now, guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna shut this off and call this the Temple of You. That was great. I love the Temple of You. So I'm gonna close this because I don't want to. Let me see. Let it go too long. Hold on.
Yeah, no,
Okay, there we go.